I cannot do these videos without my coffee. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm really happy to see you here and my name is still Victoria. Today's video is going to be about tips, hacks, recommendations, call it whatever you want, on how to read more or start reading if you don't. For reference, I started reading actively in 2022. Before that, my maximum was around 5 to 7 books, and that was in a good year. Some years I didn't read at all. So in 2022, the year when I started reading a lot, I read 51 books. I was really into reading that year. In 2023, I read 25 books because that was the year when I was moving to another country and a lot was going on in my life. In 2024, I read 41 books, and this year, 2025, I'm kind of getting back on track. So I've already read 21 books. You might have seen other bloggers who read way more than I do, like 100 books a year, but I'm comfortable with my numbers and I don't think I can or even want to read 100 books a year because I'm a mom of a toddler and I have a real life I want to live as well. And an important thing to remember, it's not vital to read 5, 10, 15 books a month. If you read one book a year before and now you read one book a month, that's a huge progress. Always remember to praise yourself even for a small success. But one book a month, it's a lot. Another crucial thing to remember is the year I read 51 books, I had a whole lot of a time. I didn't have a full-time job, no pets, no kids, very flexible husband, no friends I wanted to spend time with because they all moved to other countries at that point. And the year when I read 25 books, I was moving to another country. A lot was going on in my life. I was settling there, was looking for a job. I got pregnant. I was just getting used to living in another country. So everything that's going on in your life, all the circumstances matter a lot, and that all impacts on the number of books you read a year. And that is absolutely normal if you don't have time for reading. Hear me out, please. That's absolutely normal if you don't read for a month or 2 or 3 because you don't have time or you just don't want to. And don't even try to force yourself because that has nothing to do with pleasure and enjoyment. I want to tell you these tips because I want you to try and find that time for reading if you only want to do so. Also, an important thing to know is they all come from my personal experience. I implemented all of these recommendations into my life. I tried them. I know that they work, and I can guarantee you, if you try, you will read more 100%. Comment while you're watching if you agree or disagree, or if you implemented some of those advices and they worked for you, or maybe you have some other recommendations, because maybe not 100 books a year, but I still want to read more because a lot of those books are looking forward to me reading them. Let's get started with no further ado. Tip number 1 is find your purpose. Why you want to read. This is essential, although many people never even consider this one. Think of it this way. You just had your dinner. Your fridge is fully stacked with snacks and prepared food for the week. You can afford to go into a restaurant or order a takeout if you don't feel like eating what you have in your fridge. And I tell you, go cook something. Like, why on earth would you do that? You wouldn't understand, right? If you're full, your purse is full of money, your fridge is full of food, why would you spend time on cooking something right now? The same with reading. If you don't have a purpose or any motivation, you will not start, or you will just postpone reading and do something else instead. Just ask yourself why you want to spend your precious time on reading. What will it bring to your life? What will it give you? What will you get from it? I will give you some of my reasons and purposes just to get the idea. So, number one, it gives me joy and happiness, very important in our life. I love to see and experience the situations in books which probably will never happen in my life, like some experience in a relationship, or going to another country, or living in a fantasy world with dragons, or going back in time and see how people lived during wars. That actually was my experience. Whatever. Reading English books gives me the practice of my English. Reading Russian books expands my Russian vocabulary and allows me to express myself more clearly. Reading Ukrainian books just, I don't know, trains my brain, and I just love Ukrainian language. I often find answers that I have in non-fiction books. So I have a lot of reasons, like many, many more, but I think you got it. I also asked my husband about that, and he said for him, reading is mostly about learning and getting some information. He mostly reads non-fiction books, if he does read any. And for him, that's the reason. Tip number two is make reading a habit. Brushing your teeth, drinking tea or coffee in the morning, watching series before going to bed, these are all habits, and you can make reading a habit as well. Find the time that you will 100% be sure you will have this time and will not avoid that. For instance, you watch your series 1 hour before going to bed every night. And if you don't want to replace one habit with another, you can just take 20 minutes from watching those series, spend it on reading, and then watch them. This will motivate you even more, actually. And if you spend 20 minutes a day reading, that'll be like around 10 hours a month, and you can read a book in 10 hours. And that'll be 12 books a year. Great progress. The point here is to be consistent, because only being consistent you can form a habit. Looking at my recommendations right now, I can see they are all very obvious and very easy, but that's how it is. It's all very easy. You just have to start implementing that in your life, because it is easy. Tip number three is put your phone aside. Seriously, this is so obvious, but so hard to do sometimes. Believe me, sometimes I take my phone before I take a book, and I just spend like 1 hour and a half scrolling. No purpose, no reason, no, like nothing, just scrolling. Sometimes I'm looking for new books instead of reading the ones I have. I just look for new ones. And why I know I spend 1 hour and a half? Because that's how long my baby's nap takes. And then when he wakes up, I just can't forgive myself. I blame myself because I spend 1 hour and a half scrolling with no purpose instead of reading. That's why, guys, we have to be aware and control ourselves. And I promise it will increase the number of pages you read every day. I have some problems with number four. I had the same problem in the video booktube newbie tag. Like some problem with doing these four fingers. I don't know. Tip number four is find a genre, an author, or a book that you absolutely love. Again, might seem very obvious and easy, but this is important too, because if you don't like what you're reading, if you get bored, if you don't want to leave all the agenda to go read a book, go look for something else. Especially in the beginning, if you just start reading, it must be really, really enjoyable for you. And if you were reading a lot before, but then were kind of a reading slump, I also recommend to start from the author you are 100% sure you'll love. For instance, I didn't know what I want to read like a couple months ago, and I just took a Jane Austen book because I knew what to expect from it, and I knew even if I don't like the plot, I know exactly what Jane Austen can give me, and I love her books. That's why I took it, and I was not disappointed. So these, along with the reason you identified before, will make it the best experience for you and make you want to read more books. Number five is, I might get emotional about this one. Get ready for that. So, number five is give up the book you don't like. Just stop reading that book. Do not finish it. Some people might not see the problem here, but for me personally, this is very, very hard. Every time I don't like a book, I still think that it might get better after 3, 5, 10, 100 pages. And if I feel like if I don't finish it, I will miss something. Believe me, there is not a single book that proved me right. Every time I finish a book that I dislike, I regret it. I get annoyed. I regret it every single time. Listen to me very carefully here, please. Even if 1 million people says it's the best book of their life, all-time favorites, but you don't get it, you hate it, do not finish it. It does not deserve your attention and your time. You have your own taste, you have your own preferences. You don't have to finish it just because somebody else likes it or it's popular or else. I have an example here as well. I read The Marriage Game by Alison Ware not so long ago, and I realized I did not like it somewhere on the like 100 pages. But I read two other of her books before and I loved them, so I thought maybe something was wrong with me. Maybe it's not the right time or something was going on. And I continued, but it did not get better. It did not get better. I read till the half. Yes, I spent 1 week reading that book, and I believe me, I truly understand how annoying that might be that you spend 7 days of your life reading the book you hated and like you want to finish it to prove to yourself that it's not that bad, but you might spend another week reading the book you hate instead of reading the book you really love. Do not do that. Like even if you spend a month reading the book but you feel like you cannot finish it, do not finish it. Just DNF. So just don't be like me, okay? If you don't like something, because I have so many examples, so many books that I didn't like but I finished and I regret that till today. Don't be like me. Also, very often, if you spend a lot of time on the book you don't like, there is a huge chance that you will not take the next book. You will get into a reading slump or just do something else instead, because if it gives you bad emotions and feelings, why would you do that, right? Life is too short to spend time on books that you don't like. Too short. I'm also curious, how good are you at leaving the book that you don't like? Because sometimes it feels that only I have such a problem and all the other people in the world can just give up a book if they don't like it. Maybe you have some recommendations on how to do it better, because although I can do it now, it's still so hard for me. Every time I have that feeling that I will miss something. Please help me to work with that somehow. Number 6 is try different formats. I know many people are very skeptical about it, and I was among you guys, but I tried it and I loved it, and right now it saves me when I have a toddler. I am a person who loves physical books. I love holding a book. I love turning pages, smelling it. All those actions bring me a deep sense of fulfillment. But there are situations where no matter how much I want, I cannot do that. For example, every week we go product shopping, and right now I'm reading a book of 800 pages, which is huge and very heavy, and I would not take it with me because it's heavy. But I always have my phone, or I can grab an e-reader and read those 15 minutes on the way to the supermarket and then 15 minutes on the way back, so it's extra 30 minutes of reading. Another example is I go for a walk with my toddler almost every day. He takes a nap outside, which takes from 40 to 60 minutes. I cannot hold a heavy book while I'm pulling a stroller. It's not convenient to hold an e-reader as well, but I can listen to an audiobook while I'm walking with him. It's extra 40 to 60 minutes of reading, listening, to a book. I know many of you would say listening to an audiobook and reading an actual physical book or even an e-reader is a different experience. Yes, it is, but it's still an experience. And sometimes it's even better. Sometimes audiobooks are even more interesting to listen to than to read a book because of those sounds and voices, and like you get the real atmosphere of the book. I was listening to a book that I was happy I did not buy and did not own a physical copy and spend time on a physical copy because I did not like it that much. It was a Japanese author. I didn't try to read a Japanese author before, so I was not sure if I like it or not, and I did not like it a lot. So I was happy I did not spend time on a physical book. Also, this tip is not here, but might be very useful. Sometimes when the book is hard, I like it, but it's hard for me to read it. I might use an audiobook as well, and it will make it an easier experience for me. Or when I was reading a Harry Potter series, it was not hard, but I was kind of getting tired, and I was happy that I could read while my baby was sleeping at home in the morning and at night. But when we were going for a walk, I was listening to an audiobook, and that made it quicker for me to finish the book. And I also noticed that when I read on my e-reader, I can read more pages for the same amount of time than I do with a physical book. And these were only the examples from my life. You can also take an e-reader or listen to an audiobook when you are cooking, doing laundry, going to school or to work, or on the way back, or when you're waiting in a waiting room at a hair salon or in a hospital. You will be surprised how much time you actually have if you really want to find that time. Tip number 7 from me is not as important as the previous ones, and I would probably recommend doing it only if the previous ones didn't work for you, and it's seek for inspiration. Talk to people who read a lot. Watch a video on YouTube or on TikTok, Instagram, or any other platform, listening to people who are in love with reading. You can also find really good recommendations there. Maybe go to a bookstore, walk there a little bit, look at the books, hold a book, turn the pages, maybe buy a book for yourself, put it on your bedside table, maybe arrange a beautiful area at home where you'd like to spend some time reading with a cup of tea or coffee. Just do whatever you feel will inspire you on reading instead of doing something else. These were all of the recommendations I had for you today. I hope you are feeling inspired to go read a book. If you are, please let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you like my content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.